If you are merely thinking that you want $1 million, if it's just a thought, it doesn't mean that the mind will spin the $1 million. No, it doesn't. The desire of the $1 million must be projected as an observer from the soul. Soul is reality. You have to get to know that. The reality of this world is the soul and not space-time. And only from that soul, the will of that soul will be fulfilled in your world. We always have this thinking in our mind that right now is just 1 minute away from the past. And we are always thinking in our mind that 1 minute later will be a future and it will soon take place 1 minute later. But somehow, I'm not so sure why we were put into this way, but we came into this universe with a space and with a time, and we are faced with this constant illusion, so to speak. And of course it cannot be an illusion, because we are walking across space and time, and it will take time for me to go there, right? And I've taken some time when I came here. So of course it's not an illusion. But yet, we are placed in a special frequency, a special vibration, and we have to see a world, touch a world, where time is apparently moves, and where space is our limitation. I do realize, and I base this on Torah, because there's no scientific evidence strong enough to replace the truth. So I base it on Torah, and I know that there is a day 1, there is a day 2, and there's a day 3 and day 4 and day 5 and day 6. But a day 7 is a nullification of all the 6 days, and day 7 is the 7th day. And that's why it is written metaphorically that God said that we should take a rest. And because we are in space-time itself, it's no longer metaphorical. A body, like a mind, has to take a rest on the 7th. That's right, because it's a fact in space-time. Now, so what is so special about the whole thing is that there are 6 periods of real time. Day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. But the 7th period is an amazing period because it is timeless. And that's why the Torah insisted that a man should not do anything on that day. And the reason is because it is timeless. Gosh. So if you do something on that day, you're creating a new time for yourself. You're not concluding yourself into a dissolution, but instead you create a new time for yourself that revolves another space-time without concluding the 6th period of time. Now I know you don't understand, and I don't bet that you would understand if you're not a Jew. And even if you're a Jew, you wouldn't quite understand. But I have to say it explicitly to you. And why is there such a thing as the seventh? The reason is because reality is uni-space and uni-time. It doesn't have a time, it doesn't have a space. That's what reality is. But it exploded from the black hole, and the universe gained a space and gained a time. And so you see me and I see you. And we live in a split, expanded world, so to speak, where there's space and where there's time. But the truth is that there is just no time and no space. So, even when there is space and time, and we are living in space and time, right within the fabric of space and time, there is always this uni-space moment called the seventh, where there is no time at all. You won't be able to perceive that with your logical mind. You need to actually enter breath to realize what I've just said. Why am I having this video? Because I want to say something very important, and that is the beginning moment of the year, which is the Rosh Hashanah, is a moment when you can say and make a new change. And whatever you say is true. And that's why the Jewish people would greet each other on the Rosh Hashanah, saying, "May you have a sweet year ahead." We make a declaration from our soul to soul and say it loud. But why? Life is not just based on time. So that if you're on the 6th day, you follow from the 5th day, and you're following from the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. But if you're on the 7th day, there's a nullification. And then on the first day after the 7th, it's a new day. And it doesn't follow from the previous 7 days. What I've just said is a miracle, but it's right here in this universe. And we have to be assured of one thing, that the word 7 day doesn't mean a day of 24 hours. That's right. It just means 7 periods of time. So if we shorten that period, it can be any moment. It can be 7 seconds. That's right. What I'm trying to impress upon the reader is that at any moment in time, there's this timeless state of which we are all part of. What I'm saying is that it is new every moment. It is not old. It is new every moment. And when something is new, what does it mean? It means that you can reset the circumstances of your life. You can reset the circumstances of your life. The only problem with us is that we are taken over by the mind. And the mind is seeing this world. You are looking at this world through your mind, and the mind itself is space-time. And this is where the problem lies, and only we could understand that being so dependent on time and being over-dependent upon our own eyes, looking at the sunrise and the sunset, we are particularly limited. But can we overcome that mind, and can we see eternity every moment? You may have a wish right now. You might say that you want to achieve $1 million, for example. Just say it out. And if you can return back to that singularity and say it out there, then you will find that your mind will be able to spin that $1 million for you. And if it takes 10 years to achieve that, no problem. The universe will give you another 10 years to live on. Why? How is that possible, that the universe could give you another 10 years? Because time is an illusion. It's an eternal time. However, you are seeing it from birth to death. And because of that, your body will have to spin another 10 years for you so that you can achieve what you want in your inner breath. So let me conclude this video by saying that the time and space that we are having, although it's apparently real to us, because we have a body and we need to have a space to walk and a time to think. But yet, this time and space is only a projection from the soul. The soul is the reality, but time and space is only a kind of projection of the mind. The truth is that the soul is eternal, and the will of the soul must come true, because the soul is all there is, and space-time will have to accommodate and fulfill the wishes of the soul. And if it takes 10 years to fulfill, then space-time will open another 10 years to fulfill that will of the soul. But the point is, it has to be the will of the soul. It has to be from the inner breath. If you are merely thinking that you want $1 million, if it's just a thought, it doesn't mean that the mind will spin the $1 million. No, it doesn't. The desire of the $1 million must be projected as an observer from the soul. And that's how you achieve what you want.